Welcome to the Building Web3 podcast. Today we're diving into the $20 billion TON market and tapping into the nearly 1 billion users on Telegram with Circus. Learn how this innovative platform is revolutionizing Web3 development by making it easy for anyone to create and deploy mini apps on Telegram. Remember, nothing stated here is financial advice. Welcome to the Building Web3 podcast. Today we have two of my good friends. We have Erik. He is the COO at Circus, and we have Mikey. He is the CTO at Circus. Before we get too deep into Circus, could you tell me a bit about your guys' background and how you got into Web3, your come to crypto moment, so to speak?
Well, I could probably start with that. Actually, I've been a developer since I was in high school, and then from there, back in 2016. That's when actually back in 2013, during Bitcoin was just selling like $100, I got some clients that are from the US are actually asking, where we built kind of like a Bitcoin integration on a payment for kind of like a create this type of app. And then from there, I got kind of like, I got a bit of understanding about crypto back during the days. And unfortunately, since Bitcoin was tagged some kind of a scam. I felt like I don't want to get involved into this kind of stuff. But after a couple of years, like 2016, when Ethereum was introduced, and I said, I mean, this is something that I've never seen before. Like you're looking at blockchain and then smart contracts, programmable things, permanent codes that are actually, and that actually brings it to my attention, and I started to, kind of like really getting deeper into the blockchain through Ethereum network, which is actually a good thing. And from in 2017, that's when I actually met Falco, because I think during that time, he had this idea to actually launch an ICO pooling platform, which we actually did with IC Picker. That was the first company that me and Falco have actually created. And it was established in Hong Kong, but unfortunately, bear market happened in 2018. It didn't went well, so we stopped. I ended up going back to my original work of helping out startups and companies around the world, building apps, mobile apps, our software, basically doing all the software architecture kind of thing. And then in 2021, that's when I heard a lot of people, actually, I got a lot of clients that were asking me to, like, can you create this kind of, NFT marketplace thing? And that was the boom of the NFT market. So like, let me take a look. And, and from there, like, okay, this is really good. This is really cool. The introduction of NFTs. And I started to like chat with Falco and, talk about the, that I'll be creating an NFT marketplace called Captor. But I realized during that time, like, there's a lot of NFT marketplaces that are coming out. Like, for example, Udui, the one that was actually endorsed by Mr. Beast as well. Like, there are a lot of NFT marketplace. And I tell Faga, bro, I think this may not work, but I do have another idea that could probably work, which is we need to step this up a little bit, which is, letting everyone to deploy their own marketplace. And so that's when the Circus idea comes out, which is the first NFT marketplace deployer, where users could actually deploy NFT marketplace. They can deploy marketplace contract, collection contract, and start selling their NFTs through those marketplaces. But fast forward to 2022, 2023, we got we have Erik. That's when we came up with the idea where we just open it up to everybody. Since Web3 is basically fundamentally, it's about smart contracts on Web2 front ends, and that's exactly what is happening right now. And then 2023 now, 2024. That's when we got into this new niche that we actually discovered, which is the TON Telegram niche, which is really, really good because it's introducing mini apps, which was kind of like new as well, because since Telegram just integrated wallet. And so that was kind of like my background. Like, it's a lot of still a lot of phases that I went through, but my experience in the crypto really been since 20 back in 2012, I
Yeah.
guess, But yeah, I think it's say I'm OG, but nah, I didn't buy the Bitcoin during the time.
Yeah, I had
It's
a
a
similar
problem.
issue where I was introduced to Bitcoin at 2012, and I'm unfortunately not a billionaire. And so I've really missed out on the wave. So I'll just recap for everyone listening. So, introduced to Bitcoin early, then you help start in NFT marketplaces because NFT marketplaces are all the rage. And then you realize, like, you know what? The money's actually not in NFT marketplaces. It's helping people, kind of the picks and shovels approach where it's helping people launch their own marketplace or helping people launch their own thing. You guys eventually discover the Ton mini app niche. And Erik, we'll go into your background real quick because I know we have to talk a lot more about mini apps and all of these things in the next few questions.
Yeah, sure. Erik here. I've been in blockchain since 2017, I believe, maybe 16, something like that. And always intrigued by innovative projects in the Web3 space. Not a billionaire here as well, not a millionaire as well. But I came across Circus as the NFT marketplace deployer tool, the no-code solution, and what appealed to me was like the catchphrases like "cut out the middleman," "do it no code," "start for free," "make it easy, simple." So it was like a great solution for a lot of potential clients. So I contacted Falco and Mikey and dropped my brain dumps, if you will, with them, and we got some great connections there. So I started working for them. They saw the value in me as a communicator to the community, building groups, building um, like growth tactics in terms of how we can utilize the designers community, the builders community in our ecosystem. And I believe we're going do a deep dive into Ton blockchain later on. So happy to answer these questions later
Yeah,
on.
absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about, Ton, because many listeners, if they've been following me for a while, they'll know about Ton, but it's relatively new phenomenon that the Ton kind of, I would say, took over or kind of came into vogue. Could you describe like what is Ton, and then let's go into its integration with Telegram and how those two are kind of symbiotic.
Well, actually, Ton is that it's a blockchain that was created by basically the Telegram founders, the Dura brothers and stuff. But it was eventually taken over by the community, and that's where it actually started, building. And with its new smart contract language, which is Funk, it's just a low-level smart contract language, which is actually, I think it's a smaller bytecode in terms of like solidity and all that kind of stuff. But of course, there's differences between Solidity contracts and in these kind of this new smart contract language that were created by Ton. But with regards to I think the speed is actually the one that they're prioritized because they, the approach is actually charting all the contracts and making it faster to execute rather than just waiting for all the contracts to actually execute. And as well as like the way they actually integrated Ton with Telegram. Telegram is the biggest distribution network. So if you see blockchain that is adopted in a messaging app like Telegram, and they have built their own wallet system into it. And you're talking about mass adoption right away.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually a cool story. Back in 2023, last year, September, we got the first meeting event with Dawn Society Europe, and Falco and I went to Amsterdam to visit this event, and we got introduced to the Add Wallet feature, and saw the transaction speed in real life, and we were blown away by not only having Telegram as the distribution channel, but mostly for the Add Wallet feature, because it's the easiest way to create a non-custodial wallet in a few clicks, right? All within your pre-installed Telegram application on your phone. So it's really easy, it's really simple. So we had to at least include Tong blockchain as one of our chains, because we started as a EVM agnostic NFT marketplace builder tool, and we generally build up to the no-code infrastructure protocol, if you will, where people were able to build their prediction market models, their DEXs, DEX connections, their NFT marketplaces, staking contracts, the contract management system where you can like fiddle with all kind of smart contracts parameters. So it was like already a really good protocol with a lot of potential to connect with any type of blockchain on the EVM. We had like 50 chains already connected, but we find that Ton blockchain should be part of this ecosystem, to make it even to lower the threshold for entering people, onboarding people, on ramp people.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to add a bit more context on Telegram itself, because most people are crypto natives that listen to this podcast, but in the future we hope more people come into it. So let's talk about the market size for Telegram. So I think it has 900 million monthly active users. The at wallet feature, unfortunately, if you're in the US, you're not able to use it, but essentially there's a bot you can use, just an at wallet, and then you have pretty much a native wallet like you would find on something like, and it looks very similar to what you'd find on your iPhone or what your Android. So I always say when we want to onboard more people into crypto, like my grandmother's not going to be like, oh wow, I have my MetaMask wallet open. It's gonna have to look very similar to what everyone already knows and uses. So you essentially were already integrating with a bunch of chains, and then you guys identified Ton as this up and coming network. What really attracted you guys to Ton specifically?
For me personally, it's actually like I was, when we first discovered Ton, I was thinking like it could be like the early days of Solana. Like we're going to be building tools that are necessary for the development of the blockchain itself, but at the same time, to for users to utilize so we can actually onboard more users to Ton. And that's exactly what we're doing, because we're building a tooling platform, similarly with how ThirdWeb did it for EVM, right? They have all of these infrastructure where you can actually deploy contracts, manage them. But what we did is actually something more different, because we added a front end interface that is actually something that WordPress is also trying to achieve, which is the version 2 of WordPress to have the UI blocks as like, drag and drop components or add and remove components that they can actually do. So we combine those two concepts, those ideas. You got a ThirdWeb similar platform, but at the same you have a front end that are together connected with each other. So that's exactly what we're doing in Circus.
Yeah, and with on a more macro level, it's also aligning with the blockchain, the Ton blockchain itself, right? So if you look at WeChat, for instance, WeChat is the super app, the Chinese super app, mainly used in China mainland, of course, in Hong Kong. But it's only mini apps and a chat feature. That's the whole concept. And what Telegram wants to be is the same super app with all these small mini apps available on Telegram, but make it super crypto friendly. So this is why they made the connection with Ton blockchain, and also introduced their language and their hackathons and their events to onboard as many builders as possible. And with the Open League, they also have a sort of loyalty plan and a reward structure to help all these projects grow and do their their exposure for them, right? So they fund like with grants and with Telegram ads, and they have all kind of plans in place to make this a really low threshold to enter Web3 in general.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about mini apps, because people that maybe aren't in the Telegram or Ton ecosystem might be like, "What? I mean, I go to the Apple App Store, I download an app, like, but it's not mini. What does this mean? Like for people that are relatively new to this ecosystem?"
Basically, mini apps are apps that are set up as a bot inside Telegram, and they will be able to connect to the Telegram wallet or any wallet that is actually a mobile app. And they would have basically kind of like an interface similarly with a website, but it's of course in mobile UI that is actually loading inside Telegram. So when you open a mini app, a bot, and you open the mini app of the bot, you will be able to see an interface that is a mobile interface where you can actually transact, whether it's a crypto enabled or like Telegram based functionality as only.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about, Circus and how you guys talk about some of the features. Let's say I'm, an aspiring developer or someone that just wants to use some no code features. What is the experience of me, Jax, I'm coming on to Circus? Like, walk me through the experience when I, sign up and how I can get my first mini app going.
Well, it's actually very simple with the under process. Probably Eric,
Well, it's quite easily actually. You go to tom.circus.app. You use as of now the invite code Web3 Tom, and you can try it out yourself. So it's basically choosing a name for your app, choosing a template, fiddle around with the transaction fees you want to have in your application. You can choose the different modules in your application. This is just like with the Elementor builder of WordPress, a drag and drop system. And you press publish and your app is live. This is all you have to do. And over the time, the amount of modules, the different Web3 functionality blocks, if you will grow as well, because the developers community, as of our own community and developers crew, will build blocks, also blocks on demand, right? So if there is a query from out of the community for a specific need of a module, the developers community can build it. Or if there's a need for a storefront. So for example, I want to have this yoga studio payment solution on my phone, and I want to share it with my clients, but there isn't yet. The designers community can build this from scratch and even monetize it, just like with Team Forest or beyond. So it's a cool solution that makes us, I believe, very scalable. And yeah, it's really easy to build from ideation to even launch stage. Yeah, I don't think it takes you much more than if you use the templates and modules that are already available, much more than max 2 hours if you want to customize it.
So I'm a developer. I'm going in there and I'm looking at some of the templates, and I see that, some of them are built and some of them are not built, and I can easily create my own application. And I think the natural thing that will come up is like, hey, if I'm maybe a developer for you guys, or I'm contributing these templates to Xircus, like how do I get paid? Are they just doing free templates or free Tapper apps for you guys? Like, kind of discuss how a developer would contribute to Circus.
Yeah, with regards to what we're building, we actually build the low code SDKs where you can actually use that to build app templates. And we also have we created a command line program where you can actually start with setting up your own template, and from there you can actually publish it and basically set up a web service where that could actually charge. Whether that's you deploy a subscription contract or you want to do a Web2 kind of payment, it's up to you then. And they could actually subscribe to your template and utilize it for their app if they want to. And so eventually we're going to be introducing that kind of marketplace where developers can actually publish their own templates and let app owners actually utilized it on their app.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the applications that you guys are seeing. We'll say low code, or I don't even know how you determine the people. Like if you call the people developers or users. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Builders.
builders
Yep.
that come on the platform, like talk about some of the applications that they're deploying, because people that are not maybe familiar with the mini app, are they making games? Are they making tap apps? Are they making what kind of apps are we seeing being created with Circus?
Well, as of now, you see a big increase in users who want to engage with their community, right? So you see applications like Bloom or MemeFi, or there are multiple. These are like the evolvements of Zili, Galaxy, UX Link, right? The quest to earn applications. This is basically also how we started. So we released the Quest module. So this means that anyone is capable of building their own Quest application, where they can provide their community with quests. And in return they will get XP. So there will be a leaderboard where they can compete with each other. They can do like a gamers build feature, a guild feature, where they have like a competition between their own referrals, for instance. We have a multi-level referral system, where every quest done by one of your referrals will earn you points as well. And these kind of tactics will engage people to onboard even more members than you anticipated in first time, especially more users that are willing to do tasks for you instead of the usual community that you will onboard with a Zili or with a Galaxy. I don't brag that we will become bigger than Zili or Galaxy or whatever, but it's an EVM user base, and it's mostly consists of airdrop hunters, right? And what we try to do is to create vetted users by labeling them with an SBT, a soulbound token, for doing their contributions, for giving them achievement badges for the amount of referrals you do, sharing tokens, NFTs, that kind of stuff. And in the whole process, you can also implement, like you already mentioned it, like small games, like a Wheel of Fortune, a Tapper. Maneki Neko did an application with us based on, I believe it was Unity, that can be easily onboarded and connected with the API leaderboard. So yeah, this is where we start as the product as the onboarding of users, and after this we will go into the product discovery stage, where we will do incremental releases of multiple products in our product suite. So this will be the NFT marketplace, the staking contracts, the generative batch, NFT minters, SBT minters, like all you need to get from MVP stage to the scaling stage even.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about, some of the things that set you guys apart from other, Web3 no code builders. Is it the specific focus on TON? What would you guys say set you guys apart?
Well, as of now, we're entering green fields, I believe. We're still the only one on TON blockchain. We were early, that's for sure. And not only that, we're the only builder on Telegram. On Telegram, so it's cool to have like a web application, but it's even cooler to have it like directly in your Telegram on your phone. That's where the market is, I believe, and that's where the people are willing to spend their time. If you look at Notcoin or Hamster Combat, or like any type of other application done in TON right now, generating real revenue over weeks or months. Yeah.
I think one interesting feature of these mini apps is that, we've talked with other companies like Hive Mapper, and they talked about how making users even turn on a dash cam and their car was too much load, like making people, I think it was when we talked with X Plus, they talked about like making people download, a standalone app was too much work. So talk about the process. So is it as simple as somebody can send me a URL and I can instantly have access to the mini app? Talk about like the user flow from these mini apps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a clickable link or a QR code. It's all the same. And
Yeah, it's actually, it could also be sent as a message on Telegram with inline query buttons on the message, where the user could actually open it, and they will be able to open a modal of the web of the mini app, and it would be able to engage in the mini
Perfect.
app.
So now I think people have a pretty good understanding as to like what a mini app is. They have these no code solutions in Circus. They're able to go in, create them. Even third party developers are able to help people create templates. So you go in there, you see all of these different kinds of abilities to create different mini apps. So we mentioned even some successful mini apps like Hamster Combat. Do we see this mini app ecosystem really growing in the next few years? What do you guys see happening here?
Well, all the charts are going up. The amounts of developers, amounts of applications being released, amounts of revenue, amount of transactions, it's all going up, and they envision to have 1.5 billion users on a monthly basis by the end of 2025. So they're now at 930, I believe, million active users, and they want to proceed to 1.5 billion by next year.
I think a lot of users are really looking into the mini apps right now, especially with the with the Web3 games that were introduced. Instead of having it on a desktop app or a website, they just put it on as a mini app because it's much easier. Although the functionality is more like you perform a tap or swipe kind of thing, but I guess it all boils down to like how the users are being how the users are rewarded in terms of the engagement with the app, and that's exactly why they are right now. All of them are doing really great. For example, with the recent app that we have that was actually released with Circus, which is Maneki. In just one day, we got like 100,000 users. Like that's just really insane. I mean, yeah, you're really looking at an app. If you actually do a mini app, you're looking at users that are really coming to your app and utilizing it.
Yeah, it's incredible to think how many users there are. I think Xircus when Hamster Combat I had last checked, it had like 150 million, I think, monthly active users, which is more than one out of every 9 Telegram users is using that app, which to me is really crazy. You guys talked a little bit earlier about the incentive system in order to get people to like use Xircus, and also in these like mini apps in general. Talk a little bit about like your guys' incentive program and what like kind of incentive programs people can come into Xircus and build in their own like mini app.
Yeah, we have multiple loyalty plans in place. So we have the ambassador program. This means that we're always looking to onboard talent in the Web3 space, and especially in Circus, of course. And we're looking for community managers, but more importantly, designers and builders, so developers. People can apply for this ambassador program via our Medium page, our blog page, circus.medium.com. You will find the article there that directs you to our Notion page where all the info is. But to talk about monetization, I believe the most important thing in Web3 as of now, and it's proven an effective way to gain community, to gain trust, and to gain branding, right? Positive branding, is by having a loyalty plan in place. And what we do, and gamification. And what we do is we believe in a fair share system. So if you contribute to the ecosystem, whether that is via data providing or designing your own template, designing your own modules, owning an app even, you will get a percentage of the revenue share. And so this is something how we foresee to connect with a community to get committed users, right? To make them stakeholders in the ecosystem, if you will. Yeah.
I also wanted to add something to that because our actually goal, the reason why as well, personal for me, why we're building Circus and improving the Mini app is because we're looking at the future that crypto will be used as basically as a payment, especially now with Telegram, have Ton integrated. For example, in Dubai, a lot of there are people that are already utilizing Ton as a payment for their off-chain services.
Yeah.
So if Abel Durab is actually envisioning something in the future that people could actually utilize it for e-commerce, then that's exactly what we wanted to do. Like, you're looking at Web3 Shopify, that is and as a Telegram mini app deployed through Circus, and Circus will be like the Shopify for Telegram. So where they can actually deploy these e-commerce apps, sell their products and services, and accept accept Ton as a payment for these products and services, not just digital goods, but basically real world products.
Yep. Yeah. Renting your car, doing your nails. Yeah.
I have to find a way to pay for my pedicures and manicures somehow. So maybe Ton will be the Colombian pesos. No more. It will be only Ton payments for the future. So let's talk a little bit about the technical development. We'll call this the nerd corner. So let's talk a little bit about the experience of building on Ton from the Circus point of view, not from a developer coming on to Circus, but from your guys' point of view, like how you create these like smart contracts. Telegram uses an interesting functional programming language called Funk. Like, talk a little bit about how you guys went about building your platform, interacting with smart contracts, wallet integrations.
Well, with regards to how we actually build our platform, since we already have experience with EVM, and we know exactly how these things should work as well for smart contracts. So we actually kind of like migrated as well what we have built in EVM and set it up for Ton. Although there's a little bit of a learning curve for us because since it's a new smart contract, the way you deploy the contract and the way there's a lot of different kind of terminologies and stuff that you also need to do in order for you to deploy a smart contract. And basically, it does have some limitations as well compared to EVM. You have all these interfaces right away available for you, and so for us, we had to kind of like build something in order for us to actually get all these data. For example, if you're setting up a smart contract on Solidity, you automatically get an ABI interface, right? That's actually part of when you deploy the contract, and you can actually transact. And like on a Funk line, it's really hard to determine which of these are like the getters, which of these are the operations that you need to call in order for you to consume. You have to create this kind of thing. And that's the reason why it took us like 6 months to build all these toolings. And so we could provide a simpler way for developers to actually transact with smart contracts in Ton. But right now at this as well, we are also creating our own smart contract language, which is called Dustin, and that's Solidity inspired because right now there's there's actually a high level smart contract language that was created by the Ton community, which is TAC. The problem is that's 4 times more bytecode than Funklang. But what it does is that it has similar syntax with TypeScript. But the thing is that when it compiles, it converts it into Funklang, but the bytecode is actually much bigger. So what we did is kind of like apply the Solidity-like syntax, and basically use the same syntax that was used with Solidity compiler, and use those syntax to build the Funkland on the fly in the fifth, and then deploy it, and that actually makes the bytecode much smaller compared to this existing high level smart contract. But yeah, we're still we're still maturing it. I'm actually right now we're looking for contributors to to co-develop with us or collaborate with us in terms of how we can actually mature this smart contract language that we have created called Dustin. And we already have the interface where they can kind of like publish a smart contract, make it visible for develop. Yeah, it will have a UI interface where they could they will be able to see the read write methods, deploy the code itself, the form where they can actually put in all the information in the form fields and deploy the contract. So those are already built. We built what we're so yeah, and we already created command line programs as well to publish the smart contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to add there is it may not be immediately obvious to many of our listeners that aren't developers. Like, why would we need this? We've already got the Funk language. Why would we need this higher level smart contract? So if we look at something like, TypeScript for JavaScript, TypeScript added types, and then it transpiles down to JavaScript. And although it may be, I don't know, these days it might be less effective, or it might have like bigger bundle sizes. It's just overall the benefit of types, it supersedes it.
The community is a little bit having hard time understanding Funkland. That could be the reason, because for me when I actually first look at get into Funkland, really is there's a huge learning curve for me. Like, whoa, I'm a Solidity guy, but looking at this, it's a little confusing. But then when you actually get deeper into the Funkland and you start to learn all of these the functions that are in there, you actually you get to love it more, because it's a different language. At the same time, you're actually learning new architecture and the blockchain stuff as well. And there's only a few people that are really knows it. But of course, what we always wanted to do is if we really want to bring in developers in the Ton ecosystem, we need to make it really, really easy for them to utilize it. So how do we do that? So most probably the first thing is that create a new higher level of that, which is the one that we're doing right now. I think also the same thing that they also had, because since I'm a Solidity guy, I wanted to have a Solidity like syntax kind of thing. So I'm gonna build I'm gonna build my own smart contract language so that I could write a better Funklang rather than using the Funklang and getting myself yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the significance of grants and the accelerator programs that you guys have been a part of. You mentioned Ton Foundation grant. There's accelerators. Talk a little bit about how that's affected your guys' company.
Well, after the first event, me and Falco went to, we got exposed to the grants as well, to the Ton Foundation grant as well. So we applied and we've got chosen by Ton Foundation for the infrastructure grant. And after this grant application, we applied for the Ton Bootcamp, and this was with Hashkey Capital. So the Ton Foundation Hashkey Capital Bootcamp in Hong Kong. We graduated this bootcamp, and we spoke on the main stage during the Web3 festival in Hong Kong. And this is also the time we figured, well, we have to park the EVM agnostics part right now. We need to go full force on Ton blockchain. Otherwise, it may look weird if we get both the blockchain capabilities in one product, and we got like the whole attention of Ton Foundation. So that's why we are launching Ton Native, and we also have our token on. Yeah. So the accelerator is the bootcamp essentially, with a few other parties, like 11 other parties that are launching right now as well, like Bounty Bay, Wowfish, Boom Up, and a few others. Pretty interesting other projects with a notable user base as well, and we're connected with them as well. And through this bootcamp, we got a lot of other connections. We open up our own Rolodex, and we got some interesting key members that are now advisory or in some way or form in contact with us to contribute to the Circus.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit, because you mentioned like tokens. Let's talk about some of the upcoming features, developments that your community / users can look forward to from Circus.
Well, with regards to the development, we actually have a roadmap right now. Initially, we deployed the Quest app, Quest mini app types, so the users could actually deploy their Quest apps. This is and they could actually launch it for their community. And in the upcoming weeks, we're going to be deploying different app templates as well, the marketplace, the DeFi, launch pads, and we also have a couple of premium projects that are going to be built. Is going to, and we're going to announce them as well in the upcoming weeks or months. I don't know once they are actually available. But so those are the things that users could actually anticipate from us. We're going to be the no code infrastructure, definitely for Telegram for the long run, and the future is actually for us to let everybody get into Web3 by either deploying their own apps or their e-commerce apps, whatever mini apps.
Where can people learn more about Circus and what you guys have going on? Like any social media you can call out, anything like that?
Yeah, we have our social media X handle Circus Web3, and people can find us on Hoobie. Ho is HOO.be/Circus Web3. You find all our social links there. In terms of tutorials, sorry,
they can actually join. You guys can join on Telegram, which is at Circus.
Of course, yeah, at Circus, yeah. But if you want to learn more in terms of tutorials, development documentation, this will be all available in a few weeks in our Circus Academy platform.
But yeah, they can also check out our website, which is Circus.app.
Well, personal base, you can use Web3 Groot, WEB 3GROOT.
Continue to build, Web3. Please reach out to them. Thank you all for listening.